My name is Ben Kanute. I'm a professional triathlete, and I'm here in Kona, Hawaii, doing a training camp for the Ironman World Championships in just a few weeks' time.
Today's kind of an activation day. We call it a moderate swim, but it's just some descends, build, so just enough to kind of get the body going, get in a little bit of speed work, but nothing to really take anything out of you. We'll do 4.5K, roll through quite a bit of it. You're not really gaining any fitness necessarily by it, it's just keeping the body moving. So
you can train and train hard away from the island, but if you've never been here and raced before, I think it's sometimes hard to get a feel for what might actually be the demands.
Right now I'm thinking about which coffee shop I want to go to. There's one somewhere around the corner here, I think it's been a long time since I've been here, but my favorite used to be at Daylight Mine. Now it's gone. In a pool that feels like there's peat in it. The video needs a disclaimer that you gotta take everything I say with a grain of salt during an Ironman block, because I think your brain functions at 80% capacity.
So are you saying that COVID is real now?
I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff I think about. I was thinking about coffee shops, restaurants that disappeared, the race, stroke, I don't know, a bunch of random things. Gotta do something to pass the time, right? You get fired up.
Are you thinking about couples that have big, strong muscles?
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. Which might be, something. Yeah. And then as far as just the one question, Jim had the idea of having me drink, a certain amount of like salt water, not from the ocean, but just something we mix up ourselves. Yeah. From the ocean? Okay, he says from the ocean. Scott's first question was why?
The idea
that was my first question too.
The idea is to force you to have to deal with shit in your gut. And you're going hard early and see. That's the only question I have is, what if shit comes bad this one?
I would say for this session tomorrow, I wouldn't purposely drink salt water. There's a good chance you probably will drink salt water in it. I think depending on like the fluid, what percentage of body weight loss that you have after the session, if you're going to do another swim, then maybe think about just drinking a little bit. I wouldn't say you have to drink a lot, but maybe a tiny amount, and just see how you respond to that. But the other option is purposely take in a mouthful of salt water when you're on this way.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's what I was thinking, not like a certain amount of milliliters or anything. I just figured, as I'm swimming, if I make the mistake of taking in something, it's going to be relatively small amounts. Just because it's an Ironman swim and not like a ITU swim where you're fighting people nonstop.
Exactly. So I would take it if you wanted to have a mouthful of water when you're out there and just swallow it down and see how you respond. But what I don't want you to do is completely fuck up like the rest of the bike and the run, which is more important to actually see how you respond to those as well. So if you can do a follow-up swim session and purposely drink a couple of, just swallow a couple of mouthfuls of water when you're out there and see how you respond, I think that would be probably better.
Okay.
No, you're doing good, man.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Giving me a pep talk in
the
middle of the run?
How's your run, buddy?
I needed it. Thanks, man. You're doing good too.
So I was hoping that dog was coming for you.
Oh, that's the top of the hill. Jim went around a corner and I saw him come back on his bike and he's like, yeah, 2 dogs are loose up there. I'm like, all right, time to go home.
You're not a dog fan?
I love dogs. I prefer that if dogs are gonna chase me, they do it while I'm on my bike so I can go a little bit faster than them. But I had a vision of Jim flying around the corner on his bike with 2 dogs chasing him as I'm coming up the hill.
This is a pretty hilly run.
We're at the start line. It's pretty unassuming right now. It's if you didn't know, it's just the pier. Dig Me Beach is right here. So we're doing race sim day. Basically, we got budget Ironman. We're gonna do a full lap of the course, hard, just seeing what sort of times I can get, how the body's feeling, just try and push it a little bit to simulate it, and then we'll do a quick car transition where I'm gonna hop on the bike and put on all the race gear. I'll swim with the race gear as well for what we'll be doing in the race and just testing it all out. It's about 9:30 is when we're starting, so it'll be a little warmer. You know, ocean conditions are always different, but just really want to dial in all the race setup. So lap of the swim course, about a 3.5-4 hour bike total with race intervals, and then we'll hop off and we'll do 3 by 10 minutes at race pace and about an hour total. So getting in 5-6 hours of working out, right around in that range. So a good race simulation and a lot of data today.
Well, I'm just going to do a little race sim today. We're going to do an open water swim. Just going to drink a lot of salt water.
Scott's first question was why?
We're going to test his race nutrition. We're going to spend an hour, pretty high intensity, above race intensity, then settle in and just kind of cruise it out. Kind of finishing up a big week, probably one of the biggest weeks he's ever done, if not the biggest week he's ever done. And then, a little bit of some transition work off the bike in the G Lab at, goal pace. So just working through that, getting people here with the place, with the demands, and then.
Set that in here. Here we go. 45-50 minutes. See you later. It's pretty unassuming right now. If you didn't know, it's just the pier. Dig Me Beach is right here. So we're doing race sim day. Basically, we got...
Where's the buoy?
I thought there was one. I thought I read online. Some guys swam out to it, but I'm just out here swimming into the fucking ocean, just as far as I can, looking for a buoy that doesn't exist.
It's 2 boats. 2 huge
all right.
boats.
About halfway.
Yeah.
Pretty much halfway, so just flip it and head back. All right. Woo. Way faster on the way back. Despite the internet misleading me that there might be a buoy out there for the turnaround, we made it out 1,900 meters back for 3,800. Actually took a little bit longer on the way back, so through 3,800, the 2.4 miles, that was about 46 minutes, give or take, and then all the way out and back, we're at about 48, 49 minutes for a little over 4K. So that's meters. I'll take that. It's pretty solid for open water, especially with a current. It seemed like going into it on the way out and just flying on the way back. So now it's a quick turnaround and on the bike. The only other 2 Ironman distances I've done were Tempe and Raw. And both of those are murky water. You can't see anything. You're not really getting bored in this swim. So that's nice. And you almost kind of get a gauge of your speed a little bit, just being able to follow, so, and you kind of can see if you're going the wrong way almost, because you're not going to make a 90-degree turn out there because you have coral to base off of versus, you can swim circles in murky water and not really know where you're going. We've been working with Zip, of course, just on tire pressures and stuff, and just filling them up right now. 57 is usually about where I'd want to be. It might be a little bit on the low side, only because I like a little bit smoother ride, and we actually, when talking with Zip, the stuff you put into the calculator, you have about 5 psi or so where you're actually decreasing rolling resistance. So it's actually better to let out a little bit of air than to overinflate it. And we're going to check it before and we'll check it after just to see if there is any tire pressure change because of the heat. We're starting in the shade, it's cool. You'd think that maybe it might heat up and your tire pressure would go up throughout the day. They say that it probably won't because of the airflow. It actually cools down the tire and there's no real difference aside from if it was just sitting in transition. But we'll get the real data today. See how much air I've lost in the past couple days. Only lost a few PSI since I pumped them up at the beginning of the trip. And being in open water, I was Darth Vader. Yeah, oh, really solid for heat and everything. Legs feel good. It's just hitting that like extra 10 watts or something. It's like all the fatigue catches up. Kind of starting to come back. It's nothing great. It's like 285. No, actually, I mean, everything feels pretty connected and solid today. It's just, I mean, boy, we're 2 hours into the day. That means we're 30 hours into the week, and I'm just trying to squeeze every last bit out of it. So it's not bad. It's just it's not a home run. So
I think if you went another 20 minutes up, you're probably good.
Oh, if I can do it this tired and smashed, I can do it on race day, right? It was a little higher before I just slammed on the brakes here. We lost 1 PSI. 1 PSI, at most. Dude, Ironman is so fun.
In the body, Ben.
I know.
In the body.
But on the body feels so good. I guess I'll just do parts of it, and then I'll feel pretty terrible, and then I'll come back, and then I'll feel terrible again. So, yeah, I mean, it's just.
I've been testing my race setup overall here, from bike to suit, but also to wheel setups as well, which I'll be using the Zip 858s. And those are just a great wheel from their depth, and the fact that we can't use the disc wheel here on the Big Island because of the wind. So my main thing was to get some race speed efforts in to feel what that would feel like on the Queen K. But also the descent from Hawi is always tricky, not from a technical aspect, but just from a crosswind aspect, and having a deeper wheel and just feeling that on the descent out here. Training in a few different conditions was valuable to have.
Hang it in there.
A little downhill helps.
Yeah, I feel better pushing power on the downhill than I do on the uphill.
Obviously, an aero helmet is preferred in, I would say, 99% of situations. Here, we did test in the wind tunnel what a aero road helmet would be like for if it was super hot out and I just decided I was overheating. Well, in the wind tunnel, the aero helmet that I brought out here tested 20 watts faster, I think, than the aero road helmet, and a couple watts faster than my previous helmet, which I felt like overheated a bit. There wasn't a whole lot of airflow. So when we were out here on the Queen K, I noticed one is a fast helmet, so that's good. We know that from the wind tunnel, but I was able to cool myself down by getting water in through the helmet, through the back of the helmet, and there was more airflow that was going through everything. So I think it's gonna be a good tool to use, having known, from the wind tunnel and then testing it out here to make sure that the heat doesn't completely throw that out the window.
It's an improvement over the last Rudy helmet, for sure. I think every aero helmet is pretty hot. It feels like, honestly, the body's coming around a bit better, just holding low end of Ironman intensity. Yeah, I'm more at like 38.75. I think it started to come down because we were coming downhill. It's still in the red and everything.
Peak training score is going to be high.
Yeah, it might be on the 39 down to 38.75.
The wind tunnel was important with my position changes because we're not just a cycling time trial. My position before was very aggressive, very aerodynamic, but it had my hip angle closed off a little bit, and in particular just had my chest and everything super closed. And now that we raise myself up, put a bend in the arms, and have my front end different, it opens up my hips, takes a bit of pressure off the back, and most importantly, just opens up the whole chest cavity for breathing and the stomach so that I can take in a large amount of fluid and grams of carbohydrate. And the swim, I think what people don't realize is you're sighting pretty often, especially in an ocean course, and that puts some pressure on the low back, which if you come out of the water with a bit of a sore back, it's going to translate to the bike. And if you have an aggressive position, you're going to feel that much sooner than if you come up a little bit and you just balance that comfort versus aerodynamics. And then for the run, obviously, if you're able to come off the bike feeling much better, your hips aren't super tight, your back isn't super tight, and you've been able to digest all your nutrition and aerobically feel good, you're going to be able to have a better marathon, or at least start the marathon a lot better than if you were cramped. So it's been an evolving process to get my position where it is today, but the wind tunnel especially was super helpful in just allowing us to come up, because we were taking into account comfort, which was one of the main goals, but it also showed us that it did make us a little bit faster too, with just how it positioned my body. So we actually had that double whammy of I'm more comfortable and I'm more aerodynamic. So that's why it was important then too to put it together with the swim and the bike.
Done?
Yeah, 3.5. But another 30 minutes is not going to make the difference here. And especially if you're just going to cruise it, I'd rather you just sit, cool off a bit in the car,
And then go around. Well, let's
get the run. All on this.
61.8.
That could be full of shit.
Oh, it's 163.5.
Yeah.
Let's call it 162 and a half. 162.8. 162.8.
See you in about 10 minutes.
All right, sounds good. I'm feeling salt and vinegar chips and stuff after. Everything salty sounds good now. Everything sweet sounds terrible.
We the best, no contest. We the best. There ain't no one like, cause of you dumb or you crazy. There's no way, G. Me and my clique, we handling biz while you and your clique just act fugazi. You couldn't persuade me to give a damn, it just don't faze me. I got my Xbox, she can't play me. Money in a text box, I get paid. We the best. We the best, no contest. We the best. We the best. We the best, no contest. We the best. We the best. We the best. There ain't no rest. For the wicked I'm bad and I'm blessed. Put it to the test. For the rest there ain't no contest. So what's next? Got me leveling up, I'm obsessed. I bring the fire like I'm possessed. My personnel and my clique is the best. There ain't no contest. There ain't no one like, cause of you dumb or you crazy. There's no way, G. Me and my clique, we handling biz while you and your clique just act fugazi. You couldn't persuade me to give a damn, it just don't faze me. I got my Xbox, she can't play me. Money in a text box, I get paid. We the best. We the best. We the best. No contest. My clique is the best. We the best.
That one was probably more accurate. That was supposedly my fastest average going uphill.
That's tough. That's the toughest part right there, right?
No contest.
Get a tailwind coming up now?
I don't know.
No contest.
My black out.
30 minutes cruise.
What?
30 minutes cruising easy now.
That's wrong.
It's an hour.
No, it's not.
3 times 10.
This is why I question his math. Forgetting about the rest in between.
An hour with 3 times 10 in it. Just easy.
Yeah, so it's 24 minutes left. Dude, that's 6 minutes
Sorry.
is a long time in the heat.
And you've been sitting for half of that 6 minutes.
No, I paused. I paused the watch.
Oh, okay.
Sitting doesn't count.
All right. Good to know.
That's when you stop.
Yeah, in the race, it does. That's true.
It also like counts.
We're talking about practice. Talking about practice?
Man, I'm tired. Let's go.
Okay, we'll get going because Eric is tired and thirsty.
I'm not thirsty.
Water.
So if we go this way, you can get
That's
up
for
on
the weak.
15K and go down.
Okay.
Sound good?
I'm gonna refill one of these and, well,
I can give it to you. I can always-
should I just weigh myself now instead of weigh myself on the side of the Queen K?
No.
No?
Okay, for sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. All right. It's at least 3 water bottles.
Yep.
All right.
Green at 4.5.
Thanks, guys.
Work, dude.
Thanks. One last weigh-in. Oh my god, the ground is hot.
There you go.
$61.5. All right. It's a wrap. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the race, if I had a bag of these and just sat down and just ate the whole thing,
I think we can arrange
make
that.
me, worth it.
What was hard about today? It was easy.
I mean, I think the swim just was, I guess you could say, the easiest, just because it's not in the extreme, well, just not in the heat here. The water temp is pretty much perfect for swimming pretty quick. And yeah, I was also the shortest of all three today. So that flowed pretty well. The bike, it started strong. The middle was pretty tough. It's just hard out here, whether you're climbing or out in the middle of the lava field. So it's hot, and got to make sure you're drinking enough and getting in all the nutrition and digesting it. And rallied for the second half of the workout, which was nice.
Fucking back. 300 all day.
So I think it's just with a little bit of, rest coming back here and managing how I take in all my nutrition and fluid, I think that I can hopefully extend to feeling good as much as possible. And I think Ironman racing is just riding the waves of feeling good and feeling terrible and knowing that, there's probably a time where you'll feel good again. The run was just hot. It was solid though. I was not really concerned about running at the paces that much because we've done much longer tempos, but doing it off the bike was just a good confidence builder. So I'd say the race simulation was a pretty big success. Maybe it wasn't an absolute home run and exactly what I want to do in the race, but I think if I'm doing that at the end of a big week right now, then there's no real room to improve, and then you're kind of caught being flat or something. So I think we're in a really good spot.
Zip has been amazing to work with, and the partnership is so awesome because they, of course, are top of the line wheels that are super fast, but
they've done so much more for me already than just a wheel company would, because I've gotten to go to the wind tunnel and make me fast overall. They could just stand by their wheel product and say that, this is good enough, you're fast enough here. But they took the time, and their engineers took the time to work with my team to put together their fast wheels, the bike that I'm riding, and make my position fast and comfortable and efficient. So they're really looking at the whole big picture, and they're not so narrowed in on just one kind of small aspect of the race, but they're looking to, make me faster honestly over the swim, bike, and run, with the help that they did with my fit in the wind tunnel.